friends, welcome back to my channel. It's Allison, and today we're going to make this fun bridge card using the Small Die of the Month Club Kit from Spellbinders. This is the August 2023 kit, and I'm going to show you all the dies that come in it. So there's the dies to make the dress, the hair, the hat, and the body for the girl, and then there are the parts for the swing. And by the way, this month's club is called Breezy Swing. And then, of course, there's a bunch of flowers, and there's this little word that says hello that you can cut into the dress. And speaking of the dress, I cut it from plaid cardstock, and even the bottom piece is plaid. I just ink blended some dark pink ink over it to give it some shading. So now what I'm doing, I have my 6x6 grip mat, and I'm going to hold these pieces down to it. You'll see I cut a dress out of some pink cardstock. This is just so I can stack my dress, so it's just a little bit thicker. And what I'm doing is I want to position the legs so that I know where the legs go and how they should be attached together, because I want to attach the legs to the bottom part of the dress first before I attach the top of the dress. I just want the dress to kind of overlap the legs a little bit, and this was just how I chose to put this together. So here you'll see I'm attaching the legs to the bottom part of the dress. And once I have those where I want them, then I will glue that pink dress on top. And again, when it comes to dies like this, I think you just need to put it together the way that makes the most sense to you, or maybe you put it together one time and decide to do it differently the next time. So this is just how I chose to do it. Now, before I put the plaid dress on top, I'm going to glue on one of the arms, and then we'll be ready to glue on the dress. And I love plaid dresses. I would wear a plaid dress every day if I could. I think it's really fun. So I will attach the other hand later, but for now, let's attach the face to the rest of the head. And for the hair, I just position the head into the hair before I add any glue. I just think it's less messy that way. So once I have it positioned, I can just kind of come in and squeeze glue in between the parts that need to be adhered together. And again, it's just a lot less messy. And then for the hat, I'll do the same thing. So you'll see I'm just attaching this in a second part. And so for the hat, I'm just putting her head in, and then again, just putting glue in the place where I need it. And for the hat, I have a little orange piece that adds a little trim. And this is part of the dies. And that finishes the hat. So we're almost done assembling the girl. So now it's time to attach the head to the body. And again, I know she looks a little funny right now without her other hand, but I chose to leave the other hand until I attach her to the swing, just so I can figure out the placement. So for the swing itself, I cut both of these pieces out of brown cardstock, and then I just ink blended the bottom piece to be a little bit darker, just to give that shadow effect. So let's construct the bridge card now. I have a piece of paper that is 5 3/4 inches wide by 5 1/2 inches tall. And I'm going to score this at 3/4 of an inch and 1 1/2 inches. So you'll see me doing that here. And then I'm going to just flip it around and do the same measurements on the other side. So once I have that scored, we're going to fold along the longest score line first. We're going to fold inwards towards the center of the card. And I'm using my bone folder. And then you just flip the other piece the other direction, going towards the outside of the card. And that's all you do. And then I'm going to do that on the other side. And that is the bridge card right there. And then you'll see I have my measurement in the middle. That's an A2 measurement on my grid. So you'll see when you fold it, it becomes an A2 size, and that's how you get it into a regular A2 envelope. So now, right now, I'm just trying to figure out where to place her on the swing. And there's this little indent that comes with the die when you die cut it that shows you where to place the girl on the swing. So I'm starting with that measurement, but I need to figure out if that's the right placement for my card, because she needs to be swinging freely. And right now you'll see that she would hit the side of the card if she was actually swinging. So I'm just going to pull that off, and I'm going to position her a little further along the swing. And that will end up being just perfect for what I need. So now that we have that, I'm going to start adding some detail to the bridge card. And I'm starting with this, well, they're really supposed to be clouds, but I made them into a tree canopy. And I just used a piece of paper that was 4¼ inches wide, because remember, that's the measurement of the card when it's standing. And then I cut the cloud to be my canopy. So now I'm just going to glue it just to the sides of the card. You don't want to get any glue on the center of that card. Otherwise, the bridge card wouldn't function properly. So my idea today was really, I think I mentioned this before, I love doing different things with these clubs. Oh, and by the way, here is one of my afterthoughts. I decided that I wanted the side to be a tree. So here I am gluing this piece, and I used some wood grain cardstock from Memory Box to make this tree trunk. And I had to lift part of the tree canopy up just to squeeze it in there. And so this was a total afterthought. It would have been easier to do it before. And this wasn't the only afterthought. You'll see I have a lot coming. I was really making this card up as I went along. So here I'm using my grid again on my mat, and just making sure that the swing rope is perpendicular to the swing, and I can figure out where to put my glue. That way I don't make just a huge mess putting glue where it doesn't need to be. Now, one mistake I made, and you might see me doing it right now, I should have attached the bottom of the rope to the front of the swing. I'm not really sure how this swing is going to operate correctly the way I have the rope, but you know, this is just pretend. So let's just pretend that the swing works. All right, so now here comes the other hand. I told you I was going to put it on. And again, I really just wanted to put it on once I knew where the rope was going to go. So again, I'm using the grid on my work surface to line that up so that both ropes are parallel to each other. Sorry about my head. And now I'm attaching it to her hair. And you can see how my ropes are nice and parallel now. And I'm just going to snip this bottom piece off and glue that little bit to the back of her dress. So again, I like doing different things with these club kits. I like doing unexpected things, because if you just do one thing with your kit, you know, it's kind of a one and done thing. So I like doing fun fold cards, or just really unexpected things. I think it just makes it more fun. So that's how I came up with this bridge card idea. So now I am positioning her, trying to figure out where to attach her dress. And again, only to the side of this tunnel card. And really the only other place we can connect her is with the rope on the swings. And here I am cutting off that excess rope. So this was a little tricky to figure out how to connect the rope, because I had to get my fingers down there. So I just used my tweezers and some double-sided tape. And I was able to get those ropes fastened underneath the tree. And I'm going to come in with another piece for the other side. And then there was still, like right where the rope met the tree, it was still a little loose. So I'm coming in with this trick. I'm just putting glue on the edge of this little scrap of paper, and you just slide it underneath the tree to get a little bit of glue there. And then I can just press down and attach those two together. This is a really great trick when maybe you forgot to glue something and you can't just pull it up. So, you know, just take a piece of scrap paper and slide it under to get your glue where you need it. And now I'm just using my tweezers to squeeze those together. And then I'll just finish up the other side. So again, this card I was just kind of making up as I went along. Obviously I knew I wanted to make a bridge card, but some of the details I really didn't think about. Like these clouds, I decided. And then I decided she looked like she was floating in the air, so I wanted to put grass. Well, obviously it would have been better if I had thought about that from the get-go. So I had to figure out what was the best way to get this grass on. So I cut my little strip to be 5 3/4 inches wide, and I'm just using those same scoring measurements that I used for the tonal card itself, which was 3/4 of an inch and 1.5 inches, and I'm scoring it on both sides. It was kind of tricky scoring this tiny little sliver of paper, but it worked. So again, I'm folding it inwards on that long score line, and then I'll fold it back outwards on the shorter score line, and I'll do that on both sides. Right now I'm just making sure that it worked so I can finish up that other side. Now for gluing it, I decided to just put the glue on the card itself, because if I put glue on the back of the grass and then, you know, I just didn't want to get glue anywhere that it didn't belong. So my priority was getting the grass even on the sides. And now it's time to get the clouds in there. And these clouds, by the way, come from the small die kit a few months ago with the airplanes. And I'll actually have a link to that video at the end of this one. That was another time where I took the small die of the month club and I did another type of fun fold card. Again, just trying to think outside the box with these kits and do something different. So I'm attaching this little cloud and I'll just snip off the excess. And I think it's really coming together nicely now. So here's where I pull in some of the florals from the kit. As with most Spellbinders kits, it comes with florals. And I think that really finishes it nicely. So the only other thing I need to do is trim off that little stem. And then I think we're gonna call this card done. And I'm wrong because, sorry, we need to attach my sentiment. So this is just a stamp from my stash, and I'm using some of the leaves from the kit, and I'm mounting the sentiment on top of the leaves. I just thought that was a good way to tie it in with the tree. All right, now we're done, and I'm going to show you how this works. When you fold it down, it fits into an A2 envelope. So we're going to tuck her inside, make sure she keeps her feet inside at all times. And you see it closes really easily. It's really not even that bulky. And then when the recipient gets it, they're going to pull it out and be wowed and amazed. And here she comes. And voila, we are done. So I had a lot of fun making this card. It was a lot of, I had to think along the way of how to make things work, but that was the fun of it. I hope you enjoyed watching me make this. And again, I'll have another video here for that airplane small die of the month. I forget what that was actually called, but check it out. And I will see you next time. I will hopefully, by the way, have a video in the next few days with the large die of the month. So keep your eye out for that. And now I will say goodbye. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. Bye-bye.